So I was doing a consulting gig a few weeks ago, and one of the things that we had to do was to ask tourists what they like to do while they're on holiday. I asked this couple, what do you like to do when you're traveling? The answer that it gave me was, oh, we like to immerse ourselves in local culture. And it sounded like they were on some eat, pray, love odyssey, like everyone comes to Southeast Asia for, right? So I said, okay, in that case, which hawker centers have you been to? And they gave me this blank stare and said, what now? I was appalled.
Local culture.
Hawker what?
Cognitive dissonance.
This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. I mean, what have your travel guide books been telling you about Singapore? So I decided to make this video to tell you tourists about really immersing yourselves in local culture, especially our hawker centers. So first things first, what's a hawker center? The word hawker, from hawk, like in ancient times, hawking your wares. Hawkers are people who go around selling their things, especially food. Now in Singapore, you won't find food vendors selling their food along the streets. For hygiene and sanitary reasons, they are highly regulated. And outside restaurants, you'll find vendors selling authentic local food in three main types of establishments. This is a food court. They are indoors, usually in malls. They are brightly lit, air-conditioned, and they are not hawker centers. This is a coffee shop, or as we say in Singapore, a kopitiam. It's sheltered but not enclosed. It's therefore not air-conditioned. These are usually found on the corner of the street level of our public housing estates. They look like hawker centers but are not hawker centers. They are much smaller. And finally, this is a hawker center. They are much larger than coffee shops with rows and rows of hawkers. They're usually found near public housing estates. Once again, they are sheltered and not enclosed and not air-conditioned, so come dressed appropriately for the heat. They're not immaculately clean, but hey, it's Singapore. It's not going to be absolutely filthy. Also, the food safety and hygiene standards are regulated very strictly, so you're not likely to get food poisoning here. So let's get to the best part, the food. This is Hokkien noodles or Hokkien mee. What's Hokkien, you ask? Well, Hokkien is one of the largest dialect groups among the Chinese in Singapore. You see, back in the day, the Hokkien immigrants... Hold up. You don't really care about any of this, do you? You don't care about history, you only care about yourself. So, let's just talk about the food. This is Hokkien mee. It's good. Get it. This is oyster omelette. It's good. Get it. This is char kway teow. It's good. Get it. This is lor mee. It's good. Get it. And this is nasi lemak. Look at that chicken. Look at that rice. It's good. Get it. These are sugarcane and dragon fruit juice. They are good. Get them. Now, if you don't know what to order, just do what all Singaporeans do. Look for the longest queue and join it. Yep, Singaporeans love the queue. You might sometimes also find packets of tissue paper on the tables at hawker centers. No, these are not for you. Singaporeans are not that generous. This is how Singaporeans reserve tables at hawker centers. We place tissue paper on the tables to indicate that we've gone to get our food and we're coming back to clean the tables and eat at them. So put it back now. When you're done with your meals, don't forget to return your used trays and plates to the tray collection point. Every hawker center has one of these. Not returning those trays could get you fined. If you don't know where the collection points are, just look up for the signs. Like this one. Who is this dude? Nobody knows. Did he know that his face would forever be associated with dirty plates and cutlery? Probably not. Now I know what you're going to ask next. Which hawker stalls in particular should you go to? I'm not here to endorse any particular hawker stalls, but here is the list of my favorite hawker centers in Singapore. Most of the dishes and the food that I've profiled in this video can be found in most of these hawker centers, so feel free to go ahead. Now, if you really want my recommendations for my favorite hawker stalls in Singapore, drop me a message in the comment section and I'll reply there. I also know that you might have read in some travel guides about the more popular, more famous hawker centres in Singapore. To be honest, I'm not really a fan because they seem to cater to tourists a bit more. In particular, there is one, and I'm not trying to put anyone out of business and I don't want to receive death threats. But let's just say this one starts with an N and rhymes with Newton. Over the years, this one hawker centre has received a lot of negative reports about tourists getting scammed, getting ripped off by some of the stalls there. So I'd avoid if I was you. And I know what else you're going to ask. When I go to my local Chinese place, I like to get Singapore fried noodle. So where can we get the best Singapore fried noodle in Singapore? Let me tell you this. Singapore fried noodles does not exist. It is not a real thing. This is a gross bastardization of my gastronomic culture. Do not insult me and my people. And I know what else you're going to ask. Why is there no chicken rice in this video? Yes, every tourist wants to come to Singapore and eat chicken rice because you're basic. But look, if people do start watching these videos, I'll create a separate video on just chicken rice in Singapore, okay? And hey, if you think this video has been helpful, let me know so I can continue making hopefully helpful videos for you. And I want to know what you want to know. For example, how do I get around Singapore? What modes of public transport are there? Where can I use my credit card?
One eternity later.
And hopefully, if this video series takes off, I'll keep putting in the effort to make more of these videos for your viewing pleasure.